to episode 666, the Halloween edition of Road to Dopey podcast. We're a couple of days after Halloween, but I had to get that one in there. You're here today with me, Jason.
Hello.
I broke up a little bit there, but there's Stewart as well. Quick recap on what this is about. So, Road to Dopey, it's our first Dopey challenge. So, Stewart is a seasoned run Disney runner. I've run one event in the past, but this would be our first Dopey challenge. We're traveling over from Manchester, UK, and this podcast is the tale and story of the build-up for us of going from regular runners, not club runners, but regular runners to full Dopey runners. We have guests on most weeks, and we just talk about running in general and medals and all that kind of fun stuff. We're not pros. We don't run at daft paces. We're just normal people like you, and that's what this is all about. Whether you're running the normal, exactly.
Normal people don't do Dopey.
Yeah, Dopey people do Dopey. But whether you're running the 5K, 10K, half or the full, or maybe you're running Wine and Dine this coming weekend, or maybe you're just into running, this podcast has got lots of stuff in it for you as well. And when we've completed our Dopey challenge, podcast will change to the Running Geeks, and we'll continue and we'll have our regular weekly catch up on all things running. Stewart, have I missed anything?
Not that I can think of, but if people want to get in contact with us while we're on air, because we're doing this live, they can tweet us at RunStewart, or send us an Instagram message at Stewart Anthony.
Cool. So, in traditional Road to Dopey Running Geeks fashion, what running t-shirt are you wearing tonight, Stewart?
Remember this one? This one is the Avengers half marathon top that I got. Well, I didn't get it last year with you at your first Run Disney half marathon.
You did. I remember standing there while you tried it on for about 40 minutes. I think we must have gone through 4 different sizes. I remember very well.
I think we had to queue for 40 minutes, and it was only 5 minutes of trying on. Your mind might be slightly misleading you.
Possibly.
Yeah. And what are you wearing?
Well, my running t-shirt is from that also, but from the November the year before. So a little bit of reveal. So this is also a race that Stewart and I ran in November 2013, and it is. I can get in. There we go. Conway half marathon. So if you're ever around and you fancy running up a big hill, Conway half marathon is a good fun one to do.
No, it's not fun. It's not good. It's not enjoyable, and it's not. There's nothing fun about it. It's a horrible. It's a mountain. It's not a hill. It's a mountain. And anybody that's watching this podcast in Florida is flat, and this is like going up Mount Everest.
The downhill is good fun. The downhill is very fast. I think I was fairly.
You have to run downhill though.
I think I was fairly close to a 4-minute mile coming down the hill, to be fair. Yeah, it was a bit insane.
Yes, but that's because you were rolling and controlling.
I was definitely out of control. I had to scream at a few people to get out of the way because I couldn't stop. But yeah, Conway was good. I was full of a flu as well, if you remember. I was really ill that day. And Sue, who came with us, she was also ill at the end, but that was because she ran too hard and she was a bit sick. But yeah, I was full of the flu, and I think I seem to recall that you and I both fell asleep in the car on the way back, and one of us probably drooled on poor Michelle, squashed into the back of a Ford Fiesta.
Yes, I remember that day. It's coming up to 2 years. I did the wine and dine 2 weeks before that. So it's coming up to 2 years. Wow. I never intend on doing that race. Ever. It's a nightmare.
I enjoyed it, but yeah, it dawned on me this morning, actually. I was looking for a T-shirt to put on underneath my shirt this morning, and I just saw it on the top of a pile, and it dawned on me that the last 2 Novembers, you and I have travelled outside of England to a different country. So we obviously went to Wales in 2013, and then to America, to Los Angeles in 2014.
I can't exactly say that Wales is a different country.
It is. You have to have a passport to get in Wales.
Yeah, if you're coming from America.
It's the old Welly passport, isn't it? It's the Welly test.
Well,
on that
moving on, you know how many days it is until a marathon?
I feel like we need a drum roll app for this kind of thing. I'm wondering if I've got something on my phone that can act as a drum roll kind of. Yeah,
I could. It is exactly
working on the fly. Look, this is perfect. This is exactly what we need. Here we go. Continue. Drum. Oh, hang on. How many days, Stuart?
Completely lost the moment.
Should we again? Let's start again. So, how many days till marathon weekend?
62.
Magical. We have that now for next
few days today until Christmas.
That's really scary. That there's like we're so close. Really quite scary.
We can make it sound longer because it's actually 10 weeks, which sounds a lot longer than 6.
10 weeks. 9 weeks.
9 weeks. Yeah, we just did the 10th week.
8 and a bit weeks.
And keep in mind, you've got to taper for at least 2.5. You've only got 8 weeks left to train. Yeah. But we'll get to that in a minute. Let's get on with some news.
Sure. Indeed.
This week.
What's been going on?
Well, apparently there was this like little run that takes place every year in the little city of New York.
New York.
What, the bar in Manchester?
Yes.
Oh, you mean the hotel in Las Vegas?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
No, York Marathon. Do you know anyone that's doing it?
The marathon, New York City Marathon. No, I don't know anyone who did it, actually. Well, the only person who I'm aware of who did it, who I don't actually know personally, is the captain of Rundem Crew, Charlie Dark. He did it, and he posted lots and lots of fairly inspirational stuff on Instagram about it. But other than that, I'm not aware of anyone else.
I know someone that did it.
Do you? How did they get on?
The guy that's told me this very cap. Ethan Newbury.
Yeah, okay. I didn't realize Ginger Runner was doing it. Good on him.
Second year running New York, and I don't think he was very pleased with his performance. He posted something on Instagram that said something like, New York City, Ethan Newbury, 0. Because last year, and by the sounds of it, he didn't do so well in his own terms this year. I'm sure he's.
Yeah, I think Ethan's problem now, though, is that he is essentially now an ultra runner. So he spends all his time training for ultras and running ultras. So he'll have slowed his pace down fairly dramatically for running trails and for running ultras. So running on the road when you're used to running on the trail, I imagine that that's quite a difficult thing to do. So I can imagine that he struggled.
That's a fruit ninja going, get out of my way.
Like Drake. I'm not aware of this Drake person. So I made a sarcastic tweet a few weeks ago because I saw somebody on a bus who had these like 400 quid Beats headphones on, and they were watching Drake YouTube videos. So I made a fairly sarcastic comment about that. But my only other knowledge of Drake is all the gifs that I keep seeing on Facebook of this guy like Fruit Ninja and stuff, or like throwing plates and stuff like that. So I'm not sure what kind of social commentary I'm missing, but apparently this guy is quite funny.
Okay, well, I don't know very much about Drake either, and I don't know how we've got onto him anyway. So New York, neither of us know anybody that was doing that, but apparently there were a lot of dopey people, dopey challengers, I should say, that did do it. So we want to wish them congratulations to them finished, we know.
Yeah, anyone who took part, well done, congratulations.
Yes, thumbs up from me.
And me. So, Stuart, you ran parkrun on Saturday in some pretty nifty fancy dress.
I did. Parkrun, we discussed 3 times in parks all across the UK and most of Europe. 9 a.m. every Saturday, and one was Halloween, so I did it in fancy dress. And my character of choice was, as we discussed a few weeks before, there.
There we go.
Look at that. Ready?
Oh, there it is. So there's Stewart as the one and only Freddy Krueger.
You press. I'm going to.
Yeah, harassing the skeleton on the left.
Yes. Well, I made a little bib there, and it says Elm Street Park Run number 1, 2, and then Freddy's coming for you. Heavy makeup. It was too. It was keeping me down and making me slow. My
Well, very good effort, to be fair.
Last week, I think it was like 28 something. But I did have a few walk breaks because I was like, I don't need to get a PB as Freddy.
Yeah, absolutely. The fact that you've dressed up means that you win. So fair play. Fair play.
Yeah, the glove, not exactly aerodynamic.
I can imagine. So, other news, it's been a week since we've seen the medals. We've not seen anything else from Marathon Weekend, but we have seen Wine and Dine t-shirts, I believe.
Well, we've actually seen, we're jumping ahead a bit there. We are actually seeing some more close-up pictures, more detailed pictures. Marathon Weekend.
Let's get your back up.
Weaving the medals.
Yeah. Let's have a
look. Blurry.
So, let me see if I can make this a bit better.
Scroll up a bit.
Let's have a look. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there's the marathon one. Look at that beauty. So what we were discussing last week was what is actually on the medal. And for those of you that are watching this podcast, you can see that there's a run character on the bottom of Mickey Ears at the top.
Yeah, absolutely. We couldn't tell whether the castle last week, because the image was fairly poor resolution, so we couldn't tell whether the castle was a reflection of something in the background or actually part of the medal, and it's clearly part of the medal. So yeah, pretty epic piece of bling, to be fair. There is a small remnant of somebody's thumb at the bottom of the image to give you an idea of size. And
it looks exactly the same in size as last year's, which is pretty big. In fact, it's probably one of the biggest medals that we've seen in the UK.
And
that's the image that we had last week.
Yeah, that's the image we had last time. So that's the slightly poorer quality one. We couldn't quite make it out.
It came from the Disney booth at New York Marathon Expo. Apparently, that marathon medal was on display for about 2 hours, and someone stole it.
Yeah, I hear it got stolen, which was a little bit worried.
Look, someone to get a picture for us before it got swapped. There you are looking at the Goofy Race and a Half Challenger medal. That is a beauty.
Yeah, so I take everything back I said. So in the low res image that we had last week, this was the one where I kind of said, actually, this looks a bit poor, but actually on reflection, it's a good old piece of bling. It's pretty nice, and Goofy's wearing a very nice kind of sky blue Man City kind of colour shirt there, so fully on board with that, obviously. Yeah, I like it. I didn't think I'd like it, and you and Sean were both fairly convinced last week that it was going to be a good one, so you were right.
Well, we hope to be right. It certainly looks pretty impressive, and also if you can, we've got a closer image there of the Donald marathon. That also looks pretty.
I'm just going to keep the cursor away because it darkens the image. But if you go right to left, so the far right is the 5K, the Pluto medal, the rubbery plastic one. You've then got the mini 10K, which we were looking at Stewart's 10K medal from last year, and it's almost the same, but slightly different. So there's a scroll on the bottom, which it appears to be the only difference. That's right, isn't it?
I can't tell whether that is or if it's more. This may be difficult to see from the picture. Yeah. Today is Wednesday, so tomorrow, does the expo start for tomorrow? Because these medals will be at the expo.
Yes.
So hopefully we'll get see some more medal pictures, and as soon as I get them, I'll put them on my Instagram.
Yeah. We're particularly interested to see some close-ups of the Dopey medal. So, because at the minute Dopey looks very shiny, but we're not seeing him very clearly. So.
Base unlike last year, which was, and I think the Donald one looks really good as well.
Yeah, I think they're all looking pretty good, to be fair. I don't think there's a bad one in the bunch. The 5K medals are always a little bit disappointing, but hey, it's a 5K.
Yeah, and it'd be too heavy for you to have medals banging on your chest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, as I was saying last week, if you likely aren't going to like the t-shirts, we're not going to find out t-shirts till about a week or 2 weeks before the marathon. But there are some t-shirts for the Wine and Dine. Sean,
yeah,
pull them up.
We pull these up for you guys right now. Bear with me a second. So here we go. Slow reveal.
You could have done another drum roll then.
Ah, see, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. This is where you test how long it takes to unlock an iPhone with. Oh, look at this.
Can I have a tab open there? We'll stay greasy on the video.
So I'm sure.
Did you hear?
I'm sure Sean, who was with us last week, would be embarrassed by my shocking drumming, but never mind. So here we go. These appear to be the women's shirts. The local.
Yep, they
Yeah.
are for P, I think.
And
Well,
these look like these are the purchasable ones rather than the free one.
the free one's long sleeve.
Yeah. The hoodie, I like this hoodie. This hoodie's good. I like this.
Magnet. You gotta love the car magnet.
Yeah.
And as you know, car magnet.
And the pins. I know a lot of people collect the pins. So
The pin, and that one is a mini replica of the medal.
yeah. If that's what the medal looks like, I quite like it.
Yeah, it's a whole new design this year. In fact, there's been new designs every for now.
So this here looks like this is the one that you're going to get for doing the race. This black one here.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not so sure.
It's long sleeved. It's a bit average looking. They don't like to give you the good stuff. Let's see if we can. There we go. Yeah, I think this is the commemorative one that you get for doing it.
I think so. I think you're wrong, but we'll find out tomorrow. I don't doubt.
This
I
this one is really nice. Yeah, yeah. This is a good one
as well. That's
yeah, and this one here is not a bad color. Just the print is a bit cheap looking.
oh, I quite like black and grey.
But this grey one's so nice.
I've never really been a fan of the wine dine.
Yeah. Any bits in there?
I just think it's a terrible name for it. Doesn't actually sound like a marathon, half marathon.
Yeah.
Feels like they're selling short the achievement, the wine and dine.
Yeah.
But there is a special place in my heart for that race because it was my first half.
Your first one, yes, indeed, indeed.
2012.
You will be back, I'm sure. You'll be back.
Crack on.
Indeed.
So, how's training going this week?
Good. I'm absolutely knackered. So, and for those not in the UK, that means I'm tired, exhausted, or something along those lines. I've had a crazy weekend. So Saturday I didn't do much. I was hanging out with some friends. But then Sunday I went on the inaugural group ride with a bunch of sort of vegan cyclists, and managed to quite stupidly do 130 kilometers on the bike. And then on the Monday, I joined up with Stewart and ran 17 miles, which is kind of 28k, followed by another 5k last night with the running group that Stewart and I go to. So, yeah, quite frankly, I'm knackered. But I did the 70 miles and I survived. So that's the positive. But today, I'm tired. My legs are feeling it in a minute. So how about you, Stuart? How's your training gone this week?
Oh God, let me think. So I started last Thursday, went to track. I invented a new word.
A new word?
A new word, yes. It's the pook. Because you either want to poo or puke. So a pook. Yes, I got a few PBs at the track. So I got a 1 mile PB, I got a 400 meter PB, 200 meter PB, and on the track. So 4 PBs. That was Thursday. I was really pleased about that. Saturday, part run in fancy dress, so that wasn't too bad. Sunday, I spent the day in bed. Monday, I Skyped work to go on a run with you. Shh, don't tell my boss. Shh. I am self-employed. He already knows.
Yeah.
So we did the 17 miles, and I've got to say, really good. I felt really strong, and I was like, we probably could have pushed it. I mean, I didn't want to push it, but I feel like we could have pushed it to 20 miles.
We kept a really consistent 10-minute miles. So for the entire duration, so check it out on Strava. But we kept a really consistent 10-minute mile all the way around, and particularly on the way back, the last couple of kilometers, we were doing negative splits. So I think if you look at the last couple of K, we were flying. We were going pretty quick, to be fair. And
it always helps when you can see the you're building.
Yeah, you can see the end coming up. It's like, oh, let's get as quick as we can. But yeah, it was all right. I think we did okay. I think we must both be feeling fairly confident now that we're on track and that we're going to be able to get through it okay.
Well, it was quite horrific. I mean, it was very foggy and quite cold, but it was actually ideal running weather. It wasn't like too cold to run. It was just too foggy.
Yeah, the fog was good actually though, because I think we did an out and back, so we ran from Manchester into Bury, and I'd asked Stewart actually, as we set off, and said, "How close to Bury do we get?" And Stewart answered, "Bury." So all the way, which was not the answer I was hoping for, but that's where we went to. But what that essentially means is all the way out, you see what you're going to have to do on the way back. So we saw all the hills that we needed to climb on the way back as we were going down them. I think some of them looked like they were going to be quite punishing, but because when we got there back to them, it was that foggy, you couldn't see the hill. So you could feel that it was more difficult to run, but you couldn't really see how far or how high you were climbing or how long you had to go. So I think the fog helped us. Do you agree?
Definitely. Yeah, I actually enjoyed it and think, what the hell am I doing this for? I never felt too cold, and I was just quite happy, and I didn't even need to pee.
Yeah, I probably peed about eight times or something insane. Yeah, I was the irritating one who kept stopping to pee. So I've actually.
That's all right. We should tell people that how we've been running, which is a 9 and a 1 minute walk off. We were a lot more regimental. That 1 minute, there were a couple of minutes where we pushed it to about 120, 130.
Yeah, but I think we probably pushed. To be fair, I think we pushed the runs longer more often than we pushed the walks longer. So the
long going up a hill. Sorry, to a hill. I was kind of eager to get to the top of the hill and then have a walk, and I think that kind of helps, spurs you on. So there was probably times when we were getting to about 14 minutes before we'd get a walk break.
Yeah, it worked. It was good. It was good, and like the fact that the goal is to do this sub 5 hour, and 10-minute miles will deliver that, like, and some, like, so 10-minute miles will absolutely smash it. So okay, we've only got to 70 miles, we're still 9 miles short, but I think we could have carried on at that pace for quite a while, to be fair. So
yeah, Jason, you're saying that, but the longest you've ever run is how many miles?
21.
Okay, and it's not been at your pace. It is hard work when you get to them last 3-4 miles.
I think the interesting one will be when we do the 20. So we're doing the first 20 mile that we're doing a couple of 20 miles, I think, but the first one we're doing is half of it will be a 10-mile race in Stockport, which is an extraordinarily hilly race, and then the last 10 miles will be us trying to get back from Stockport to Manchester without getting lost, without taking shortcuts. So interesting one.
Yeah, it should be fun. I feel like we've got a long run in a couple of weeks' time. And that's going to be, what did I say, 19 miles?
19 miles, yes. Yeah.
I'll let you plan a route from that.
Yes.
Actually, what I could do is Manchester to Altrincham and then Altrincham back. I think that is about 19 miles.
Like the marathon route, but like in a straighter line.
Yeah.
And it's flat.
Yeah, alternatively, what we could do is we could go up towards Oldham again and Haywood.
And come back the longer way around.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out.
Do that.
19 is the next big one.
19. Yes, but I just can't wait to get that tick.
Yeah.
To say, done it.
Yeah.
It's an amazing feeling afterwards when you go, I'm done. And I'm sure the listeners who are approaching these distances, maybe not quite up to 17, so early.
And the priority really at the end of it was food, which was great, but it meant that we finished food just after Starbucks closed, which meant no red cup. So I've still not had a red cup from Starbucks, unbelievably. Not impressed.
Well, there's always tomorrow.
Yeah, there's always tomorrow. There's always another day. But red cups, I need a red cup. So, what are your plans for running this weekend?
This weekend, 10 on Sunday, park run on Saturday. Might go for a PB on Saturday. Try and go and get near my PB. I'm not going to be getting anywhere near it, but I'm going to try. Sunday, 10 miles. That's it. 8 for our run club. I'm going to plan the routes. I'm going to plan some more.
Cool. I've got I probably won't be running much this weekend, so I'll likely do a very short cycle on Saturday morning. Probably do a little run on Sunday night, a little solo run, nothing extravagant, and then Monday I will be running with Stewart. That'll be pretty much my weekend. I'll be my next fairly lengthy run will be the Sunday after, where I'll be doing 10 miles. But I'll do it with one of the groups in Manchester, because you're away racing, aren't you, next Sunday?
A week on Sunday, yes, I'll be in Leeds doing the it's only, well, I have to correct myself. It's a 10K.
Yeah, the Scabby Dash.
Is there any type of people that you like?
People from Manchester.
And of course, one of the Reds.
Except but there's no United fans in Manchester, because they're all from London and Malta.
They're from the rest of the world, man.
Malta and China and London. Yeah, those type of places. So.
Well, that's pretty good. Yeah, I'm just scrolling down what's next on the review list on our show notes. I guess I'm going to talk about these, which I've been running in. I showed you them last week. They're a little more battered now. And to be honest, now I'm looking at them, I'm getting a bit annoyed, because they were brand new last week, weren't they?
Mm.
Those that are listening, these are the Hoka on Clifton 2 in, what colour would you say this was?
It's a lot brighter than the Monster Energy Green. It's a bit like that, but brighter.
It's very subtle, isn't it?
No.
Well, it's going to get a little bit more subtle, because look, the paint's been chipping off. I've only had them a week and the paint's chipped.
Yeah, that's a bit crap. I mean, it's like it's fairly common with trainers, that would happen. I've had Nike trainers do the same. Not
after a week.
Maybe not after a week, but I have had paint coming away, but it's pretty poor, isn't it? I mean, it's
If that's going to happen, don't put the paint there. I'm
right.
sorry.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Apart from that, I like the shoe. I did get some pins and needles after 7 miles.
Yeah,
but
I recall you were commenting on the old pins and needles.
Pins and needles, I have got really, really bad blisters. At the moment, I never get blisters. I'm hoping that's something to do with the weather or my socks, or because they're not stretched out enough, the Cliftons.
One more, I think, yeah, give them another run and go from there. I found my Hokas, and I reviewed my Hokas a while ago on a separate YouTube video, but I have to tighten them real tight, like to the point where they're kind of uncomfortable, because if you don't pull them really, really tight, they just don't grip your foot. And that seems to be like a common thing with the Hoka. Once you get the lacing right, they're a great shoe, but getting the lacing right was a bit of a pain. Did you cut out the quick fasten lace as well?
No, they didn't come with quick fasten laces. They just came with regular laces. This is the Clifton 2, so it's got a slightly fatter, more what's the word? Comfort tongue.
Yeah,
it's more padded tongue. The laces came separate.
Did you get 2 insoles as well?
No, we only got 1 insole, although I don't remember checking the box.
That was strange. So I got 2 insoles in mine. You got like a standard insole, and you got like an Ortholite insole, and you essentially have an option of one or the other, or stacking them on top of each other for a snugger fit.
I'm just hoping that the blisters are a one-off thing, and that they'll stretch a little bit more and there'll be no more blisters.
Yeah.
And if there's more blisters, then Stewart will be not happy, Stewart.
And you bought them from sportshoes.com, didn't you, those?
Yeah, sportshoes.com. They're about 90 quid.
So yeah, it's probably worth dropping them a quick note and saying, look, paint's coming off. Here's a tenner.
Well, I was actually going to message Hoka, their shoe, and see what they've got to say about it.
Yeah.
Incidentally,
Good point.
Hoka are the sponsor of the Stockport 10 miler, which we'll be doing. So if they're there, I'll be telling them.
Good point. I might even wear my Hokas for the event just to
represent Hokas.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Cool. So I this week, and I've mentioned a few times I was going to review this, and we've not got around to it yet. I'm going to talk to you guys briefly about something called Bounce. So it's an app. I think you can get it on Android, but I have it on iOS. It's a bit bright, so you probably can't see it. There you go. Focus on there now. So what?
15 points. What does?
Yeah. So what Bounce does is it connects to all your fitness devices. So some of them it works with, some of it doesn't. So the main popular ones it does. So Fitbit it works, Garmin it works, Strava it works, Runkeeper it works. That kind of stuff. It works. Doesn't work with Nike Fuel for some strange reason. I mean, Nike Fuel is kind of dead, but you would expect it to work with something like Nike in it, and it doesn't for some reason. And what happens is Bounce essentially give you points for being active. So every day you can earn points for exercises, whether it's running or cycling or swimming or whatever it might be. And you also earn points for walking. So for doing more than the average daily balance of steps. So if you walk a lot, you can earn a lot of points and go that way. Now, there's 3 tiers. There's a free version of Bounce, which is one I've got at the moment. And there are 2 premium tiers. And I think you can realistically, if you're an active person, and when I say active person, I'm talking about the level of fitness and the level of activity that I do. So maybe if you run 3 or 4 days a week, cycle maybe 3 or 4 days a week, and you're walking more than 10,000 steps, sort of 6 6 days a week, you could expect to probably make about £20 a year from Bounce on the free tier. If you were to go on to the upper premium tier, which costs you £15 for the year, so £15 is about $22, something like that. If you were to go on to that higher premium tier, you could expect to earn about £80, which means that you're 65 quid up. So if you wanted to take the risk, it's probably worth forking out the 15 quid. One of the things that I will show you is every time you do an activity, you get something called a reward credit. So you can see that reward credit there. Now what that means is you get a chance to spin a wheel. So I've saved these particularly for you guys. Look, so you get to spin this wheel, and then let's watch it. There you go. Look at this. So you get to spin the wheel and earn extra points. Now, if you're on, oh no, look, didn't win that time. Not spin. But if you're on the premium tier, you get more spins. So on the free tier, each activity just gives you one spin. But if you're on the premium tiers, you get more spins. So no, didn't win anything this time.
No luck. Oh.
But yeah, it's quite good. It's quite engaging. You know, it's free. If you're exercising a lot anyway, and you can get 20 quid a year, you know, why aren't you signed up to it? That's kind of my view.
Sounds good to me. And you did actually make me sign up.
You did?
Although I don't.
But it's yeah, it's one of those. I think it's, you know, it's worth doing it if you're running quite a bit. You know, you might as well earn those points, and you know what? It's free money at the end of the day.
Is it UK only?
I don't think so. It could be, but you have to see if you can get it. If anyone's in the US, see if you can find it in your app store.
The retailers which do credits are quite UK based.
Yeah, it could. Maybe it is a UK only thing. Maybe
it's an American version. Tell me, does it work with the trusty Apple Watch?
No, it's more like the fitness specific devices. So let me see if I can find in there a list of what it works with. Bear with me 1 second.
No Apple Watch.
Yeah, so look, so here's the apps that it works with. So there we go.
Runkeeper, My My Fitness, Moves app, Fitbit, Garmin.
Yeah, Jawbone, Misfit, MyZone, Strava, Swim Tag.
Jawbone up. It sounds like the majority of them, and remember, if you're with Nike, then you can export anyway, so you can do that.
Yeah. So, but that's pretty much where it's up to. So, all in all, not a bad product for something that is free. Free
money, you can't argue with that, or free gift vouchers. I know someone that does it. Helen Kay does it, and she walks a lot.
Yeah, and you know, a friend of ours, she's a firefighter, and she uses it. She's on a premium tier, and she makes an absolute fortune from it. So it pays for all her new sportswear. So
sounds good to me. On to this week's hot topics.
Okay, what have we got?
Well, we must give a shout out to our friend Mr. Mark Rigby, who did an ultra camp. I think it was the White Rose. Well done, Mark.
I don't think he checked the course profile before he set off. I think he had a few shocks along the way.
When I spoke to him, he told me yesterday, he said, it was a really bad part. I was thinking of giving you a call because there was nobody to speak to. There was no crowd. It was just completely just trail, dead, and he just hit the wall. Yeah. I said, you should have phoned me and I would have talked you through the wall. Yeah. Anyway, he told me that at some point the hills were so steep that his Garmin thought that he'd stopped and he had it on auto pause. So that basically got me thinking about how to avoid GPS nightmares, because my GPS watch turned off for 2 miles of his ultra.
Auto pause for race day is a massive no-no. So auto pause is amazing. So auto pause is this one thing that I use on my bike. I use it. Where's my bike gam? No, it's here actually next to it. So I've got Edge 500 for my bike, and I have Phoenix 3 for running. And auto pause I have on everything. The auto pause is great because if you need to stop, if you're stuck at a traffic light, or you're trying to cross a road, or you need to stop for a pee, or you need to pop into a shop to get a drink, auto pause is great. It just pauses everything, saves you forgetting to press start again at the end. Now, on race day, everything's about chip time. So that if you stop for a pee, that time now counts. That time doesn't go away anymore. So auto pause is great. I love auto pause, but on race day, it is a massive no-no. And absolutely, I can understand why his watch has done that. If he's kind of crawling up a hill, that's 30% gradient. He's gonna think he's not moving.
Must have been a little bit gutted when he crossed the finish line and it said 28 miles instead of 30 miles.
Yeah, he lost 2 miles from it.
Yeah, wasn't happy. Anyway, so that got me thinking about how to avoid GPS nightmares on race day. So I've come up with a few suggestions.
Go for it.
I've talked about them in previous shows. But the first one is, if you're traveling to the expo, take your watch with you and just connect the day before.
Most GPS watches remember where they last connected to signal. So if not all of them, but most of them, and especially the newer ones, they'll remember where they last connected to GPS signal and will connect faster when you get back there. So the reason that they do that is designed for people who often run from home. So you set off from home and then you run, or you do whatever, you cycle or whatever, and then you get back home and then you stop your watch. But then the next time you run, you set off from home again. So it's kind of like almost like knows that you're going to be setting off from there. So it remembers that location and connects much quicker. It knows which satellites it's looking for.
That's great news for those of us doing Dopey, because it will remember it from the day before and the day before. We'll make sure when you go to the expo, you take your watch and you connect, because if you're traveling, it's going to take a little bit longer to connect. So definitely bring your watch to do that to the expo. Check your settings. Ensure that you've got the correct run-walk ratio.
And make sure you've got it in the right miles or kilometers. So for our long run on Monday, I switched to miles, and I always use kilometers. So on Tuesday when we had a little shakeout, my watch was in miles and it was confusing the hell out of me, and I hate it. So yeah, so check your settings, make sure they're right. You don't want to be setting off on a race and then realizing stuff's not how you want it.
Yeah. Which brings me to another point. Don't buy a new watch and open it on race day or the day before. They will be selling watches at about 15% off at the expo. And even though they are good deals, unless you know this watch, you're a complete tech nerd, even worse than us.
Yeah, you need time with watches, because you need to make sure you've got the right stats. It's if that watch isn't displaying the right information, you might as well not have it. So and it takes time to get used to understanding what information and how to control the thing. You don't want to be trying to read the small print on something that kind of tells you what the button does. I mean, like take this for example. So this is a bike computer, but there are 4 buttons, so you can see 2 on that side and 2 on that side. And now each of those buttons has 3 different functions. So it's got the big ones that are written in white on black, so you can read them, and you can even read them in the dark. But to the outer edge of those, which you probably can't read, are two other functions for each button. And you can't read those. It's basically impossible to read them. And the watches aren't far different. You can't really tell what the buttons are designed to do on the side. So unless you know and you're used to using that watch and pressing those buttons, you're asking for trouble.
Well, the last thing you want to do is on your 26.2 marathon, or even if it's a half or 10, or if it's your first 5K, you're messing up, or with your TomTom or any of the GPS watches, because that is like your little bit of, I don't know, history. So yeah, definitely make sure you are fully au fait with you. If you forget your watch, if you lose your watch and you have no alternative but to buy a GPS watch at the expo, make sure you buy the same watch
that you had before. Yeah.
You already know. Still spend time, because my watch, this one, I think I've spent so many hours just coming up with different custom activity settings and everything, so it's just perfect for me.
Yeah.
And another thing we should talk about is I accidentally paused mine during the half marathon in Disneyland in September it was. Accidentally just hit it. Don't even remember doing it. And it was paused. And I don't know how many, I didn't lose miles, but I lost a couple of minutes, maybe 3 or 4 minutes, which is annoying because if you get a PB, you want it recorded.
You do. You don't want to be losing that kind of data. So losing any data on a Garmin is horrendous. On my bike ride this weekend, I lost about 8K because I'd forgot to press start on it. And again, this is why auto pause is so good. But on race day, auto pause, just don't go there.
I never use auto pause. But yeah, so just be mindful of your watch, and when you're taking off layers, you might be pulling off layers and accidentally hit it. So just watch your watch. Watch your watch. Another quick tip I've got is it's going to be dark when we start the marathon, and when we start the 5K and the 10K and the half marathon, depending on how long it's going to take you, be an idea to get a little bracelet with light, with glow stick, and then you can just throw it away rather than having the light on your watch the whole time.
It's not a bad idea, especially for the marathon. If you're going to be doing the marathon in sort of 5 hours, 6 hours, it's a lot of Garmin devices, a lot of GPS devices, the batteries won't last that long. So unless you've got like a triathlon watch like Stewart's, or one of the adventure watches like the Phoenix range, a standard Garmin's probably not going to last that kind of length of time. So, and if you're using your light on, especially with the light on, it won't last that anyway. But yeah, if you put the light on, it's going to be even worse. A phone as well isn't going to last that kind of length of time. So if you are seriously planning to record the entire thing, it's worth investing in a triathlon watch like the one Stewart has there, or one of the adventure watches like a Sunto or one of the Garmin Phoenix range, which have a much longer.
A little bracelet with glow stick, also great for going in the toilets.
Yes.
You're a bit of light when you
need to go. Yeah.
Well, it's almost coming to the end, but there's been a lot of talk about coast to coast.
Yes.
With the Disney in Paris.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's not going to be called coast to coast. It's going to be called coast to chateau.
Very French, using a French word.
Chateau. The Run Disney of Paris is on the 22nd of September 2016. So it seems like ages away. What's that, 10 months, 11 months?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. September's only just been and gone, hasn't it? So yeah, we're looking at 10 months from now.
10 months. Are you planning on doing this?
I'm not sure right now. Actually, I feel like I should. However, this year is a bit of a busy one for me, really. So I've got we're obviously going to Florida in January for 2 weeks, and then I'm going to Thailand in June for 3 weeks. So it's whether or not I can justify another trip in September, I guess. I need
Two
to.
words.
Yeah.
The bling.
I know, yeah, that's it. So it's about the bling, and it's the inaugural one, and the other thing is as well. It's my birthday's at the end of September, so it would be it's a few days before my birthday. So yeah, I need to figure it out. It might just be one of those things where I kind of fly out on the Friday night and have to fly back home on the Sunday night, but.
Well,
Yes, I'll have to wait and see. Basically,
are going to be doing anyway.
The race itself, from a cost perspective, looks fairly cheap. So the actual cost of the race, comparable to the US races, it looks fairly cheap. It looks more in line with the UK race.
Yes, but we don't know that then prices are going to be reflective of the individual price for just race. We have only seen the prices for package deals, so that could be subject to change. Anyway, that pretty much wraps it up for this week. Next week, what have we got coming?
Let's have a look on the list. We've got some of our local friends who we plan to bring in. We've got Rob and Lisa, a couple of time travelers, and our friend Chris. So I think we'll have them on at some point. We mentioned a while ago we're going to have an episode where we just talk about nutrition on races. So we will do that one shortly as well. I think a lot of people will be interested in that one.
I think we should save that till right near the end.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, and we'll
freshen everybody's head.
We might join that up with some conversation about what to carry on race day as well. So all in all, that's where this kind of conversation is going now. We start getting a bit more specific around preparing for the marathon itself. What will you be reviewing next week, Stuart? Have you got anything in mind?
Not yet, but maybe I can review a new iMac.
Well, yes, somebody's going shopping, I think, this weekend.
Yeah, someone's credit card's going to be very hot.
Hot as but you know what? It's worth every penny.
I don't know what I'm going to review running wise. I'm sure I'll find something.
Yeah, I've got one thing I'll be probably reviewing next week is I've been testing the waters with a website called AliExpress. AliExpress is a bit like an Amazon for China, but instead of having a single seller, it's lots of different shops. And AliExpress is essentially famous for selling what we in the UK call knockoff gear. I don't know what you call it in the States. What do you call it? What do they call it in the States? Fake? Is there a better word for it than that? I don't know. Anyway, fake shit. So I've ordered a bunch of stuff just to sort of test it out, just to see what it looks like, because it's that cheap. It's worth just sort of sometimes throwing a bit of cash at it sometimes. So
it was AliExpress.
AliExpress, yeah.
Is it related to the website Alibaba?
Yes, it is. It's the customer front end of Alibaba. So Alibaba is the business front end for resellers. But AliExpress is the consumer front end.
Well, who knew?
Yeah, exactly. So Alibaba and his 40 thieves selling stolen goods from China. So I've got some,
Oh,
yeah,
they are
I've got
copy.
copies. Yeah, I've got some very nice Oakley sunglasses to show you next week.
Great. I shall look forward to that. They are green to match my trainers.
Vegan green, always vegan green, always vegan green.
Only knockoff thing that I'd ever be interested in will be the Walt Disney World Marathon anniversary. If you can get one of them on AliExpress or Alibaba, I'll have one.
Yeah, or Goo phone. I've always been tempted just to buy a Goo phone for a laugh, just to see what the deal is. But yeah, I feel like it's a bit of a risky move.
Well, that pretty much wraps everything up for today.
Does
Thanks to all of our listeners, thanks to you, and thanks to, well, good luck to all of the wine and dine people out there that are going to be doing it this week, particularly our previous guests, including Caitlin, and Sean Taylor is going to be doing the wine and dine.
I think he is, isn't he? He's either doing Wine and Dine or Avengers. I can't remember which one he said he was going to do.
Well, Caitlin is doing them both, so we'll wish them all good luck anyway.
Indeed.
And so, yeah, if you're doing it, enjoy it. Let us know how you got on. And you can do that sending us messages on Twitter at Run Stewart, Instagram at Stewart Anthony. Tell them your social feeds. Jason.
Sorry. Jason. Everything for me is boring. It's at the Jason Hearn. So links are below, but yeah, everything is at the Jason Hearn. Particularly if you're interested in the training element, go and check me out on Strava. Again, links below, and you'll see what we've been up to.
Yeah, and check me out on Strava as well, because I've got like no followers and he's got loads, so I think I deserve more followers.
Stewart needs Strava friends, but Stewart's not Strava Premium, so maybe he's just not earned them yet.
Do you know how many extra followers I got this week for posting them the Run Disney Marathon medals? Quite a lot. 5.
Well, it's 5 more than I got. Although I seem to get a lot of girls from Russia who want to follow me because they want to have sex, apparently. But then they disappear very quickly. I'm not quite sure what's going on there.
That's because they are robots, and the type of sex that they want to have makes them explode and disappear.
But usually involves taking your credit card details as well, I imagine.
I'm sure it does.
And on that note, I think the road to this week is
like, subscribe, share, comment, get in touch, and we're looking for more people to join us on the podcast. So if you'd like to join us next week, you know what to do. Send us a message.
Absolutely.
Well, from me, bye.
And goodbye from me too.
And keep running and increase the miles.
See you next time.
Days. Bye.